Hello everybody, this is DKM and I'm doing a video on an article that I discovered this morning on my phone. The article is from torquenews.com and it's about an EV owner by the name of Jesse Hart who took a trip from Oklahoma City to Denver and back to Oklahoma City in a 2024 Kia EV9 Wind. Now, he posted the information on the Kia EV9 Owners USA group on Facebook, and I actually went to Facebook and found that group, found his post, so we now know that the article is actually based on information that's out there and not just put together because, unfortunately, the author of this article, Noah Washington, did not state where the information came from, just that here's the information. So he didn't cite his sources, basically. Well, I looked up the source, discovered, this is real. But anyway, this information that he gave was that he charged 10 times at a DC charger, 3 times at an AC charger, drove 1,481.59 miles, used 447.95 kilowatt hours, basically got 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour at a total cost of $350, driving between 70 and 75 miles per hour. And in the information, he also states that he charged to 100% once on his home AC charger and then once on a DC charger. So he never actually charged to 100%. That he spent approximately 17 to 20 minutes each time charging. Now, so what I did is I decided to take that information and dump it into a spreadsheet on my open office, okay? And what I'm showing in this spreadsheet is that he drove 1,481.59 miles at a total cost of $350. So it cost him 24 cents per mile to drive from Oklahoma City to Denver, back to Oklahoma City. Now, on my sheet it says number of times to refuel, and there's a reason it says refuel instead of recharge. Okay, I'm doing that because I'm going to compare it to a gasoline-powered vehicle. He claimed 10 DC or 3 AC and 1 time charging up at home. So what I did is, instead of putting down he charged 13 times, I put down he charged 11, figuring that one of those times he may have been, we know for a fact one of them was at home. Maybe one of those charges was also at home, at the end of the trip. So we reduced it from 13 to 11. Also gives him the benefit of the doubt, because the more times he has to charge, the more these numbers adjust. But at 11 charges in 1,489.59 miles means that he did an average distance of 134.69 miles between charges. So he had to charge basically every 135 miles. The average time, he said it was 17 to 20 minutes, which is 18. That comes out to 18 and a half as the average time, 18 and a half minutes every time he charged. Since he did it 11 times, that means he spent 203.5 minutes charging that car. That works out to 3 hours, 23 minutes, and 30 seconds. Okay? Let that sink in. 3 hours, over 3 hours, charging his car. Do you want to spend 3 hours on a road trip sitting at a gas station? I don't. But let's take a look at some other numbers here. Now, my 2017 Subaru Outback, when I was doing highway driving, I was getting 34 to 38 miles per gallon. I went with the lower number, 34. So using my highway fuel mileage that I physically got in my 2017 Subaru of 34 miles per gallon, driving that same 1,481.59 miles would have cost me $145.07. More than $200 less than his EV cost him. And it would have cost me 10 cents per mile to drive that distance. Now, let's say that every time I filled up, the gas pumps were super slow. And it took me 10 minutes to refuel my car. Now, all right, so we're looking at 10 minutes to refuel instead of 18.5. But because I was doing 34 miles per gallon, within my 18-gallon tank, I could go 612 miles before fill up, unlike his 134.69. That means I stopped 2.42 times. Let's call it 3 at 10 minutes. It's basically 24 minutes I spent at a gas station compared to his 3 hours and 24 minutes. So not only did I save $200, I spent 3 hours less time sitting around, doing nothing but refueling my car. Let's take a look at it with my city gas mileage that I was getting in my 2017 Outback. Again, 1,481.59 miles. At 25 miles per gallon, at $3.33 per gallon, would have cost me $197.29. 13 cents per mile. Because the mileage is lower, it means I had to stop every 450 miles to fill up, or 3.29 times. 33 minutes in a gas station compared to his 3 hours. So I wanted to look at this, and I was like, worst case scenario, I was only getting 20 miles to the gallon on the highway. I was still over $100 cheaper to drive and 7 cents per mile cheaper to drive a gasoline engine than his electric EV9. I would have to fill up 4.11 times, or 42 minutes spent in the gas station, again, compared to 3 hours. So I'm going to look at this, I'm going, all right, how bad does my gas mileage have to be before I spent $350 on gasoline to go 481 miles? So what I did is I took the $350 he spent and divided it by the $3.33 that I would be paying in my town in Western New York for gasoline. And he would have had to have bought 105.13 gallons of gasoline. Okay. 105 gallons of gasoline to spend $350, which comes out to 14.09 miles per gallon of gas if his car were a gas engine. If it were equivalent, that's gas guzzler territory. A Chevy 3500 HD Dually gets better gas mileage than that. Where is this EV savings? They cost more to buy. Obviously, they cost more to run. Where is the savings coming from? Because I'm not seeing it now. I'm not seeing it at all. In this example, that I would never buy an EV9. It shouldn't cost $350 to go 1,500 miles. As proven by the fact that 20 miles per gallon, which is low, is still cheaper than what he paid for his EV. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting information that I came across. Compare his 2024 EV9 cost compared to my 2017 Subaru Outback, which, Yeah, that's the one that was destroyed in the video, the other video that I have here where it says bye bye Subaru. Yeah, that car. I'm sorry, I'll take the Subaru any day. Anyway, have a good day, have a good evening, and we will talk to you all again later.